Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men with power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on also 104.1 FM. This is a special edition of Sunday. I'm recording this edition right now, this first hour exactly. It's Friday the 8th of September 2017. I already had a show planned for this hour, but you know what's going on right now in general on the East Coast, especially in the part of the Florida side, and of course not just Florida. It's happening almost everywhere. Something's going on. But right now, I'd like to focus on what's happening in Florida, because I believe what we are facing right now as country, as Americans, and also as humanity, because it's happening also somewhere else, it's something that is part of a bigger plan. And I'll show you why I think so. And if you think I'm crazy, that's fine. But meanwhile, all I want to do is try to give some warnings and trying to alert people as the best way I can using this media. Now, I have a lady who I've been knowing for many years, since the time when I was still living in California and I used to go to meetings in Nevada and Las Vegas. She was an activist, a political activist, and then we became also Facebook friends. And she moved back to, I think, her family. She has family down there in Florida. She's right now with me exactly on the air, the next few seconds. And we will talk a little bit what's going on down in Florida. Probably when you listen to the show, you already know what's happened or what really did happen. I'm telling you now, in my opinion, not only what's going to happen, because, I'm not a psychic, but I can read the news and I can see the reports, I can see the weather reports, I can see the projections. But honestly, why it's happening and what could be the final goal, and also what we could do to learn from this. Because if we don't learn anything, probably, it's a waste. It's a waste of energy, it's a waste of life, a waste of money. We need to learn from this and how to avoid situations like this can happen. Anyway, let me bring Laura Z from Tampa area, Florida. Laura, are you there?
I am. Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to bring you in on the show for the first time for this type of event. I wish we could have talked about something better, maybe about food or guns or maybe a serenade, but that's the way it goes. Okay. By the way, I talked one time with your sister. You have a sister, right? At least she told me that she was your sister. Good. We had talked about
Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer. We had a gun talk, and that was great. Unfortunately, this event today we'll talking is a little different. As I said before, the show is recorded. Today is exactly Friday, just few hours before you in Florida going to start to face the consequences of Irma. Exactly, remind me, which part of Florida are you right now?
We are in West Blue Chapel, which is east of Tampa.
And, according to the government and your governor, I know that they have different, projections. For example, Miami, I know it's going to be hit directly. What is the situation? What are the projections for Tampa area where you live?
Well, they don't have a specific, because it changes every minute, every hour.
Yeah.
But it's going to go through the whole state because our governor's done an awesome job as far as getting out information. But the hurricane's bigger than Florida. Yeah. So both the West Coast and the East Coast will be affected in some manner. It just depends on once it hits the South Florida, which we just moved from Fort Lauderdale to this area 2 months ago.
Wow.
Providential.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yes, where there's going to be something. Gas stations are closing down. Orlando Airport closes tomorrow at 5:00. Disney down. Many places are closed. Many places are out of gas,
Right
water,
now,
batteries.
we called. You were texting me before, and you left me a message. You were on the way back home. By the way, on the way back home, what did you see? What can you see on the streets, on the highway? You see long lines, or there is like, for example,
yes.
What's going on?
Long lines. Well, I was looking for a gas can.
Yeah.
We do have a generator, but there are no gas in the little area I live. There is nothing, no batteries, no water, no gas. Many places are closed. So I went to an adjacent town, was able to get one, but people are scared. You can just feel the energy of people very nervous, driving around. People are getting in arguments. They have police monitoring gas stations as far as when a new drop comes off for the gasoline, if they get in anymore. The police are at stores monitoring water. There's a limit, depending on what store, 2 cases, 5 cases. But most of the stores I've seen are fair. They have not tried to gouge. There are a lot of places here gouging, though, for price, such as a case of water, $25, that type of thing. But generally where I am, it's not to that level at this point, but there'll be people that pray. For sure. Prey on others.
Yeah, it's very sad also because now in this moment of extreme stress and fear, sometimes the best of us comes out, sometimes the worst of us comes out. And you can start to see, people, the true nature of every one of us. I'm not saying that we are all human beings, we have moments of weaknesses, but at the end of the day, we have the true nature. And moment like this, when there is no more law and order, there are no more really, what is the law? The law is what your good soul tells you to do. If you are a good person, you would help somebody. You're not going to steal or harm somebody to take what is not yours. Unfortunately, in this moment, you see the true nature of people will come out. And that's very sad too, because it's going to be very stressful. Any special experience so far? Anybody got on your face, or anybody you see other people getting, like in fights or try to steal from each other?
Yeah, right. There have been a couple. I didn't witness it myself, but I do know that people are arguing. People are terrified, and this area is a rapidly growing area. So many people have just moved here recently, such as myself. But I've lived in the South and the area before. But they're terrified. They don't know what to do. So sometimes fear brings out, they're just reacting and not really realizing. But I've also seen a lot of good sides. I have wonderful neighbors here. We're looking out for each other, staying in touch, that type of thing. And Laura, so you see everything. Definitely.
Something personal. You don't have to answer, of course. Do you have family members close to you, or they are far away?
Oh, no. My whole family's here.
Oh, that's
and my
great.
mother-in-law, not my mother-in-law, but we have Italianos here, my family. And she's a little freaked out. But everybody, the main thing is to get your possessions, your papers, your documents, and make sure you have these types of things. And I had a friend of mine coming from South Florida, and she's like, well, I don't know what clothes to bring. And I was like, I don't think it matters. Just bring your documents, get what's important. You can't figure out what coach purse to bring. This is not the time.
It's not about clothes anymore. At least, I'll tell you something something personal. I have a brother right now with a daughter and also a wife. Unfortunately, I don't want to go into details because I'm a little mad at him. But he did not live. He took this some different circumstances. I don't want to go into details, but he could not live. And right now he's stuck there, exactly in the middle of the heat. And as I said, at this point, there is so much you can do, and so much you cannot do. And you need to just pray that somehow there is a miracle, and you try to be as smart as you can. But there is a force of nature here that is beyond our limited. We are human beings. Unless you're being prepared, like the government may have for themselves these bunkers underground, you cannot really do much. But there are some things we can do, and that's why I wanted to put this show together with you today. Because first of all, yes, acts of God. People believe in God or in the gods, or whatever you want to believe. They are possible. We are living on planet Earth, and this is part of our reality. There are things that we may not control. But also at the same time, I want to say I would like to learn exactly, because I have the final hour. I have a guest. He's a 25-year-old veteran in the Canadian Army, and the guy is almost 50, and he's been learning a lot and sharing a lot of information about technology, patents, and technology that is being documented on official records, how the military, not only they can pretty much control the weather, but they can use the weather as a weapon. That's a fact. And I'm not trying to say this because, we had to do conspiracies or we need to do drama. We already have enough drama. But the point is, if we do not understand the potential why scenario, why it's happening, we just focus, at the pointing at the finger of the problem. We need to see who could be behind the problem. I'm not saying the military did it, but let's put it this way. If we know for sure, and this is a fact, people can go to the Air Force website, We On The Weather. We On The Weather, and there's also a document, a PDF file that you can download directly from the website, is .mil, military. And the military claims that they can on the weather and use it as a weapon. Now, I didn't say they did it, but my point is, if you on the weather, you have this technology at least for the last 30, 40 years. Why they cannot somehow, let's say, mitigate or change the direction or even stop such situation? And they've been out there, scientists and different research, that they say, with few $1 million, this could have been stopped. There is the technology out there. So there is something that I believe is more than what now we've been told. For example, Houston, that is huge disaster. But it is really man-made, or it is something was planned, or at least was used. Now at the same time, we have something not all the scientists ever seen before. We have Irma coming towards you guys. And then there is another one, Jose, I forgot the name, another one just behind.
Jose, and then Katya, or somebody with a K. Yes.
I mean, there is so much that it is not just more a coincidence. And as I said, I need to start to say, okay, there is a point we cannot do everything because, they can manipulate us through these events. But at least we should investigate the truth. We cannot just say, believe, oh my God, this is the end of the world because God now is decided that we're going to die. Maybe God is mad, whatever. That's another story. But before we go there, I believe there is something science has to do with this. Now, there is this document.
I agree.
Yeah, On in the Weather in 2025, USF Center for Strategy and Technology. This is, by the way, was a document from 1996. And there is much more. Just Google these words, We On The Weather 2025, and people can see exactly what's going on. Now, let's talk about also what we can face the next few days. Because, first of all, if I can ask you, is your house made of metal, made of bricks? What is made of, if I can ask you? What type of house do you live in?
Well, my brother's home is bricks.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know what our house is made of. We just moved here 2 months ago, so I believe it is cement.
Yeah, cement.
Within plywood.
It's a good start.
Right.
It's a good start. I'm sure you have a good different code when you build homes there because the hurricanes they are put in consideration.
Exactly.
It's not like
exactly. And the storm drains, though, that's the thing with the surge. Yeah. And after Andrew, many people in this area have been through many of the, I would say, maybe natural hurricanes.
Yeah.
But this seems I had many friends in Houston I worked with. I'm originally from Alabama that lost everything. And it seems like it reminds me of herding sheep.
Yeah.
Herding cattle.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but our home is pretty stable. We don't have a lot of windows.
Yeah.
Neighbors here that have been here 15 years and say this.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be fine. We don't get flooding here. But then again, this is so different than anything anybody's seen.
Yeah. Let me play 1 second. This I want to play. I have a little short video. I'm not going to play it all because it's too long. But this is from History Channel, by the way, and it's something that we should have an open mind because it's not even such things to be say. Oh my God, it's so far out. It is so old now. The bottom line is that technology or weather manipulation is real. Okay. And we need to take knowledge of that. As I said, can be used for good purposes or could be used for, let's say, nefarious purposes. And, I want to remind right now what's happening with this country. we have a president, as much maybe not perfect, is really being used as, let's say, this escaping goat for everything is bad, okay? That's the bottom line. They want to use him for everything could be bad. But more important, as much, I'm not a partisan guy. I'm not even a Republican, but I want to be honest. This man, with even all his imperfections, is slowing down the plan of globalism. Exactly, is something that they didn't see it coming, and they hate him from both parties. The Republican establishment and, of course, the Democrats, the globalists, they all hate him. So they need to put him out. And I really believe now, in my opinion, according to what I see here, as I said, this is not just about Irma anymore or Florida. This is about, we need to look from the sky at the bigger picture, what's happening. They want to create the big scenario that they need to show him who is boss, even if he thinks he's the president. The real deep state controls technology that they can put this country on its knees economically and socially, and more important, politically. And at this point, even, it's going to be like a civil war. Seriously, we never had an idea.
It will be a civil war.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me play this. I want to play this because this is something, as I said, people need to understand, first of all, the technology we have. And I said, please don't go away, listeners. The final hour, I have this gentleman from Canada, is a retired, Army veteran from Canadian Army. And he has a lot of proofs and evidence with patents how this technology is real. Meanwhile, let me play this. This is from Weather Manipulation is Very Real by History Channel.
They are located in Gakona, Alaska. The project is called HARP.
HARP is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, originally a joint effort of the Air Force and Navy in cooperation with a number of academic institutions.
It is today the world's largest radio broadcasting station, but it's not designed to broadcast for human ears. It uses unique patented ability to focus the energy coming out of the antenna field and injects that energy into a spot at the very top of the atmosphere in a region called the ionosphere.
HARP is comprised of 180 antennas, approximately 72 feet tall, linked together to function as one giant steerable antenna. Steerable because it can aim millions of watts of ELF waves into one tiny patch of the atmosphere.
The amount of energy we're talking about here is 3.6 million watts. To give you an idea of what that is, the largest legal AM radio station in North America is 50,000 watts. HARP is 72,000 50,000 watt radio stations injecting their entire output into a spot that's about 12 miles across by about 2.5 miles deep by about 90 miles up.
This is where HARP is pointing. It's an area located roughly 300 miles from Anchorage. The U.S. military says HARP is merely being used to study the physical and electrical properties and behavior of the ionosphere for both civilian and defense purposes. But another theory has surfaced. The intense energy being beamed into the sky by HARP is actually heating up the atmosphere, causing weather changes.
HARP is being used for weather modification. The military's own record proves it. They've admitted it within their own documents, and yet they still deny it to the public.
Dr. Brooks Agnew has researched ELF wave technology for the past 30 years and is convinced HARP's effect on the ionosphere does alter the weather.
HARP couldn't affect the jet stream directly, but indirectly it could, because if you push the ionosphere out into space, then the stratosphere just under the ionosphere has to move to fill in that gap. When it moves, it could pull the jet stream with it, thus rerouting it hundreds of miles, changing the way water moves through our atmosphere.
HARP is one of several ELF wave transmitters located all over the globe. The United States owns and operates 3 of them, one in Gakona, Alaska, another in Fairbanks, Alaska, and one in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Russia has one in Vasilursky near Nizhny Novgorod, and the European Union has one near Tromsø in Norway. Working in tandem, these transmitters could potentially alter the weather anywhere in the world, changing the jet stream's course entirely, triggering massive rainstorms or droughts. Even hurricane steering would be possible by heating up the atmosphere and building up high-pressure domes that could deflect or change the course of hurricanes. The U.S. government...
Okay, I stop here. What do you think about this? Did you were able to listen to this information?
I was, and I completely agree with it. I completely agree with it because I do. I mean, too many coincidences are not. I don't think they are coincidence.
No.
It's being controlled, and that now the little minions are not acting the way they want them to.
Yeah.
Or Trump or whoever.
And that's true.
We'll show them.
With the people, we are waking up. There is an awakening right now. People say, screw the parties. We start to understand they're both working against us. And lately, listen, many Republicans, I think they woke up finally when they saw finally that when you have the whole Congress now that can Republican controlled and Senate, and then you have the president ready to do whatever he can to at least, erase some of the Obama abominations. And Congress, the Republican Congress, still go along with the Democrats, and there is no difference. So people are waking up. There is some sort of a sense of awakening, and I really believe now the only thing that can control us with is going to be fear and economic burden. When people lose their home, lose their jobs, and they're begging for food, you're going to have them in your pocket. That's the point. I'm going to go on record today. I'm going to go on record. This is the only, I'm the responsible for this, nobody else, not the station, no, of course, not you. This is, of course, before this it's happened. It's few hours before Irma hitting Florida, September the 8th, 2017, Friday. I really believe that this this hurricane and all these different type of weather disasters, they are not just accidents, but they're being man-made. I stay firm behind this. According to the evidence I've been studying, let's put it in this way, at least they could have been avoided. They could have been mitigated. There is no excuse to let them go so wild. And also historically, this is something never happened. What's happening right now in Florida, I don't even think it's in the history books, okay? At that level, at this level. And I really believe now, we don't forget, 9/11 is coming in a couple days. You don't need...
Oh, good point.
Exactly. So it's all together. There are a lot of signs we need to look at. They need an excuse. Problem, reaction, solution. They need another big crisis to bring us on our knees and find out another way to complete control America. And eventually, don't forget, right now, for example, we need to look also at Houston. It's something that it just started it. Even let's say the flood is over, the real emergency is starting now. They already pushing, for example, for Mexican troops to come there and help. This has been a part of brainwashing of, let me put it this way. When it comes to help, I want to be helped by anybody, but there is a point. When you come to help and you come with your uniform and the flag running the colors of your country as a military operation, it is no more just humanitarian help. When you bring the uniform, you run their colors, that flag, that's a military operation. And now they're going to start to make us used to the idea that we already have this North American Union that, President Bush and President Fox signed by, by stealth. So we're going to start to have this implementation of security that under martial law, we may have Canadian troops and Mexican troops here and start to knock the people's doors down. That's what it's about. Now, start to give us the idea. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. It's martial law and many places, pulling the guns away from people. I can't quite cite what island, but they were, or state, but this is just not good. No. It's the bottom line, but I definitely believe it's for control.
Yeah.
1984, George Orwell, whoever, whatever you want to say, but it's the economic thing, though. The people out here spending just thousands of dollars putting their home together, getting water, doing this, doing that, running around like it reminds me of an anthill that was stepped on and everybody's losing their mind, just going berserk.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to control. And then here we come to help. And but it's definitely martial law. You have a curfew. You have this. I had dear friends in Houston lost everything. There were several of them.
Yeah.
And
Let me play this.
It's not right. It's not true. And I totally agree with you. I completely agree.
Let me play this because I just found this video a few minutes ago and I posted on Facebook. Probably, I don't know if you had a chance. Let me play right now. 1 second. This is disturbing.
Going to wake up. People are seeing these death camps go up across the country. What you're looking at here isn't about Republican versus Democrat. It isn't about black versus white. It's about mass murder. And everybody out there is going to be a future victim. The ruling elite have made the situation perfectly clear. You are going to be eliminated. One way or another, they are coming for you. Today, it's a silent war. They're poisoning the food, the air, the water. But in the days to come, this war is going hot. And when it does, they've got the infrastructure in place for a genocide. Everyone knows the end is near. They can see it for themselves. And this is what's going on in every major city. One way or another, this cult of death is going to make the Georgia Guidestones happen. Now, some people out there are clinging to the dream that somehow they'll be on the winning team. Repeat after me. You are not the 1%. You will not survive what's coming unless you begin waking up everyone around you. Quit letting the television control your mind. These people on television are not going to save you. Not one of them is talking to you about what you're looking at here. Instead, they're trying to divide us by selling us lies while plotting our demise. You've been living a dream, Neo, and that dream is about to become a nightmare. Companies like Google are about to spawn AI, Skynet, Terminators, and the like. It's going to be Judgment Day, and it's going to catch everyone by surprise. The TV is not your friend. They're selling you lies while plotting your demise. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
They're never going to go back home, so they want to help them as much so that they're never just walking out of here and going back, they're going back onto the street. They've worked with them throughout the process here to help them adjust to this new world order that they're going to be living in after this.
You found yourself some shelter here. Why are you outside during this entire hurricane?
Well, I chose not to go inside yesterday because the Salvation Army and Russian Winds homeless shelter where they were accepting people were caught killing everybody that was in there.
I'm at the neighborhood Walmart in San Jose, California. This is what it has become. I did not want to believe it, but it's happening. Does this look like your friendly neighborhood Walmart to you?
Hey, America, everybody needs to stand up for their rights.
Okay, what they were showing, it's Walmart. It looks like a slaughterhouse, all chain link with razor wire. Also, the top is closed. They look like cages. Okay, and the point is this: as I said, I don't believe what's happening right now in this moment. It is just an episode that we can think, okay, just some bad weather, even very extreme. By the way, I'm sure you heard that right now this weekend. And probably as people listen to the show, it's happening. Of course, as I said, the show is recorded. But Sunday, it should probably be happening between Sunday and Monday. North Korea will try another launch of another nuclear or some sort of a simulation of a nuclear weapon. So this is serious. And we don't really know what could happen. Could happen the next time we talk to each other. It's going to be maybe, I don't know, years from now. Because if really things go straight to a complete apocalyptic scenario, like a World War III, I don't care if it's a false flag or not, but all they need is an excuse. No, seriously, we may have no more communications.
No, I agree with you.
No more radio. I mean, remember, 9/11, it's another important day. I talk about this every time, the evidence that we've been given, and of course, I'm talking for myself, not for the station, not for my host, for my guest. I deeply believe that 9/11, all the government version is a lie, and we have proof about that. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But the point is, what we are facing now, in my opinion, could be another 9/11 on mass scale. And Houston, right now, the next few days could be starting really like a martial law scenario. Because when people are going to go crazy, you know what happens when there is no water? I mean, there is no electricity. You're not going to even have water in your home. You cannot even flush the toilet, probably. So, and without that, especially with the heat, you don't live in the mountains, okay? It's pretty moist. Is it humid right now there? How hot is there?
Actually, today it's rather cool, but it is humid. Yeah.
So you need to drink.
But it pushes the people over the edge with the weather, the heat, or this, the no, it's fine. Oh, they're in shock from the first event, but yet the frustration sets in, and then they realize, wait a minute. You're just preaching to the choir, because I completely agree with you.
No, I know, but I like to make it for the people out there that, they think all this is not going to happen. And I tell you something, I have people in my family.
No, it's happening. It's happening now.
It's happening.
It's been happening.
Now, my point is,
it's been happening.
All I say, why am I here and babbling on this show? I could just say, you know what, just get out of here and just mind my own business. If I had right now a jet, I would get a jet and fly to get my brother, but it's too late. I have my own problems. I have my own problems, trust me, and I'm freaking out for my family, for him. But I'm here for a simple reason is this, because we must learn from these things. At least we must have an open mind. First of all, when you want to solve a problem, I always say we must understand the problem. And as I said, I'm not saying that this is for sure something that is being made by somebody, but let's put it in this way. Somebody, in this case, governments. We're talking about our government. That's one of the functions of our government was supposed to protect us. That's it. To protect our rights and, of course, protect the people of this country. They could have for sure. Yeah, so they say they use the technology to at least mitigate it. There is technology out there. Don't trust me. Listen to the final hour. Listen to this former soldier, who brings patents and evidence. I played before a few minutes also this part of HARP on History Channel. So the evidence is out there. So I don't care if it's negligence or if it's complete part of a plot. The point is we could have avoided this, my opinion. Now, number two, what is the big picture? What could happen in the next few days? We have Florida. We have no idea next week. I hope we can talk next week. I hope we have a phone line or some sort of,
Yeah.
And please be in touch with me.
They're just walking around. They're in the clouds. I mean, between all the internet and the selfies and it's all about me and da-da-da-da-da. People have lost focus, and it's just, it's like a train wreck you're watching and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
But you have made a difference. You're trying to get to people that listen and understand.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it might have been an explanation. Oh, this is why it happened, several years ago, but not now. I mean, especially with this government we had after Trump was elected,
exactly.
Nobody's supporting him. I'm gonna try to be quiet.
No, go ahead. You can say whatever you want. Go ahead. You can say whatever you want.
But I just think it's just such a sham.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't begin that way, but whoever the 6 people that control the world or whoever, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is 9/11's coming, like you said, Houston, this, and then all these hurricanes behind, and people are freaking out. And, if it's the end times, it's not from God. It's from people that prey on the people that think it's the end times for God's reason.
Yeah.
God's mad because Trump won. So they're all shamed, that type of thing. It's shame, fear, and economics.
Yeah.
For sure. And control.
Yeah.
Control of what, and it's scary. It's terrifying. But yet, and it's also terrifying in a way that somehow you're isolated, or I feel that I'm isolated in times that, like, am I insane thinking this? Because everybody else is walking around, you're just, you're angry, you're this. No, I'm not. I'm realistic. I can see this. I've worked with a lot of things. I understand.
Yeah. No,
but,
all we have to do now.
I can't quit. I have to quit listening to these people.
That's why I said we got to find each other. More important, we have the duty, in my opinion, to try to warn others. The only way we can win this when we reach critical mass of knowledge, first thing. And all I say, do not trust us. Do not trust me or Laura or anything. Just look out there at the evidence. I mean, as I said, you can go to this document. I think it's very important. The ultimate weapon of mass destruction on in the weather for military use. That's a mil document PDF, and there is much more than that. But the point is, according to this document, weather modification, according to the U.S. Air Force document, Air Force 2025 final report, offers the warfighter a wide range of possible options to defeat or coerce an adversary. Capabilities, it says, extend to the triggering of floods, hurricanes, droughts, and earthquakes. weather modification will become a part of domestic and international security. Yeah. So my point
is, happened in Mexico last night out of the blue. Oh, we have an 8.1. Hate it for you.
Yeah.
And then this hurricane, that hurricane, 2 more are coming. There's 8 million tornadoes going on. And one thing that blew my mind was like every other week on the media, it was like another Ferris wheel accident or an accident at a theme park. I don't know. But the tornadoes, I'm like, I grew up in Alabama. Tornadoes come and go, and it's not. I don't know. It's just what the focus is, and I don't know. I worked at a hotel where people come in. They're always on their phone. They're not paying attention.
Yeah,
they're just feeding in, and who knows? Sometimes I hate to even get on media on my phone, but I feel it's a valuable resource. And when I say, I'll say things and. Just what I believe, and people are just looking at me like I'm insane, and it's like that's okay because I know it in my heart.
Listen,
you can see it.
At this point, as I said, I'm trying to focus, and the only reason why I'm on the air to try to talk to people who want to listen. If you want to laugh at me, don't even bother. Turn the radio off. Do whatever you're doing. Keep doing it. That's fine. but my point is, there are people out there that sometimes all they need is some information to make accurate decisions and better. That's all I can try to do. And all I'm trying to bring here is, beside my opinions, I bring you facts. As I said, we on the way that by 2025. I just posted also my Facebook page this document that I think is very important. I mean, the people can download it, print it out. This is directly from the government. And as I said, technology there was old, 1995, 1997. They talk about this 1977. I mean, there is so much. The last 30 years
it's been going on and planned. It's planned
now,
and I don't mean to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
I have to say one more thing. Now I forgot. But the people that I forgot. It'll come back.
No problem. Just when you remember,
it'll come back.
Tell me. I'll bring you back. I mean, as I said, this is the part of what we can do right now. Please do not give up on trying to wake up other people out there. As much they make fun of you, bring the evidence and then let them see it. As I said, I have a brother, okay, that a few years ago we had a conversation. I am kind of the paranoid guy, and forget about saying, you know what, Florida, I don't like it very much, but that's fine. If you want to go there, do a business, that's fine. But at least build something in the perspective that something may happen. Don't think that, anything can happen everywhere. We are living on planet Earth.
Of course.
A rock may fall from the sky, okay? But for sure, I wouldn't bring a castle of glass in California, okay? In front of the San Andreas, on top of the San Andreas fault. That's for sure. But beside that, at least try to organize your life accordingly. Prepare accordingly. Now, let's talk about solutions. Something that we can do at least to prepare for our little microcosms. We may not change the globalist plan for right now because unfortunately they do what they can do and we don't have the technology and the number to completely stop it, but at least we can start to prepare for our lives, our families. First of all, number one, acknowledge that something, it is not just normal and natural. Even if there is a natural event, we must be prepared. But for sure now, when we start to say, hey, wait a second, this may be part of a bigger plan, we must really pay attention and have even much more effort and resources to prepare for it. What does it mean? As I said, things can happen anywhere. Look at now Washington, California is burning, Washington, Oregon is burning. I don't know, there could be also an accident.
See, that's where they instill the fear because they're like, oh my God, it's the end times, it's this. Well, it could be. It was maybe the end before it began. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, this hurricane or whatever, attempt to control, which, it's a storm, I understand, but excuse me, it's beyond, and I don't understand how people can't see this because especially after the election, that felt contrived, oh, she's going to win. Now the people that are mad are just so mad they can't even stand themselves and they do not want to hear anything. And it's like, take it or leave it. Here's the information. Take what you need. Leave the rest there. I can't think for you. And I don't want to think for you because I think for myself.
All you can do now is think for yourself and your family, and barely you have a chance to do something. And now we go through some idea and solution. Very practical, simple. Before that, I just got this video a few days ago about the movie. It was called Category 7. Something hard to believe. I need to get this movie in my hands, but I don't believe it's a coincidence. Let me play this. 1 second. Stay there.
Okay.
You guys are going to freak out. You guys are going to freak out. Now, we got the Google Doodle. Just take a look at that. Underground, going into the underground, whatnot. Now, you're going to freak out. You're not going to believe this. You know what was released 11 years ago, 9 months ago? 11 years, 9 months ago. It was called a movie called Category 7, The End of the World. And it's about 2 massive hurricanes hitting the United States. Look. Category 7, End of the World. Randy Quaid, Shannon Doherty, Gina Gertzten. You know, they love that Liberty just all messed up right there. Luciferians giving props in this to themselves. The End of the World, Category 7. The storm of global proportions is coming. Now, can you tell me that this is a coinky-dink? It's on 9/11, folks. It's set to hit on 9/11. This movie came out 11 years ago, 9 months. 11 years, 9 months ago. The director of FEMA, a scientist, and 2 storm chasers look for the answers of massive storms threatening the globe. Disaster film, thriller, miniseries, political thriller. There's only 2 seasons, episode 1 and episode 2. Harvey and Irma. Episode 1, Harvey. Episode 2, Irma. Looks like it does mass destruction to oil rigs. And a whole bunch of other things. Looks like it does mass damage to the United States through the imagery of the White House with the American flag on top. Just stick with me. Let's check out the front of the thing. Category 7.
Anyway, people can find out that it is kind of a coincidence. I don't believe in this coincidence, though. It's something beyond that, my opinion.
Well, with this hurricane, they're like, oh, it's going to be a Category 6, but we don't know what that really means. And it's like, they keep pushing the bar. You get people used to one thing, and then moving the bar. The statues coming down, the flag, the this, the that, and it's just.
And as I said, we don't know. The point is, at this point, that could be the final. Remember, the president is just a figure at this point. As you can see, he doesn't even know what's going on some issues because there is a deep state all the way. There are bureaucrats. They've been there. They never leave, regardless of the elections. There is a military-industrial complex. Is always there. The point is, we have no idea really. The system right now is so much on autopilot. If there is really a disaster of epic proportions, we can go straight to martial law, and the president probably he has almost nothing much to say. Even technically, is the one in control. The real in control is FEMA and all the bureaucrats around FEMA and Homeland Security. So, and by the way, we know the story. There was a pastor, I forgot his name, just a couple of weeks ago. He went to Washington and he went to talk to several congressmen. And the information, he went out public. He went also on a radio show, Alex Jones radio show. Okay? And the point is, he went public. This guy is a very famous pastor out there, very outspoken. And he said, he was told by a couple of senior congressmen that there is a plan to remove Trump. And this is when they said remove Trump, so maybe it's going to be like through impeachment. No, to try to remove him physically. Okay? And they weren't kidding. So he's not kidding. The man, he has a lot of things that could really, he wouldn't go out. He has a lot of credibility, by the way. I did a research about him. The point is, I believe this could be also part of the plan. Something can happen to the president. At that point, we have a complete country that is under the complete control of the globalists and will be on autopilot to some sort of a schematic plan for martial law, and everything's going to be feeding the plan to create a global government. I really believe. Now, as I said, what can we do right now in this moment? First of all, there is sometimes a point that you need to really, regardless your religious belief, have faith that somehow there is somebody above us that can give you some help. But at the same time, you need to help yourself, because if you just think that you're not going to do anything because somebody's going to help you, that's not going to work. God says, help yourself and I help you. But meanwhile, you got to do your part. So, of course, if you had a chance, get out of this area. That's number one thing. But if you're stuck there, I hope you have a structure that somehow you could be able to resist this type of situation, because we have no idea. This is beyond just you are in a building. When we have no idea. They say, as 6, 5. We don't have an idea about 6 because never been reported. This could be, I don't know, destroying everything. I hope not. I hope.
I hope not. But you feel the energy. The full moon, the full corn moon, everything. It's just, it's isolating sometimes in this society when you believe or know things. It's not even what I believe. It's just what I know.
Yeah.
Such as when I was active, more active politically, I had people from D.C. calling me, telling me to cease and desist. Do not keep calling back here.
Yeah.
Things of this nature. Ever since then, I feel targeted. Not like I'm a victim, but just that they're messing with you.
Yeah.
And just shut up. And that way, it's completely true. I believe you. And I know it's true. And not just believe you, it's the writings on the wall. Like you said, there's evidence, there's facts if people choose to listen to it. But that sometimes I feel they have people so wired up that, like Antifa, all this, they don't have time to listen to it because they're so caught up.
Yeah.
And they had ads in the paper, let's come down and do this and this and that, whatever. Doesn't matter how it got to where it is, but it's at a critical situation right now.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I would like to say this. First of all, a prayer for everybody out there in moments of needs. Could be Texas, could be Florida, tomorrow could be Arizona, anybody. But for sure, right now, we have 2 parts of the country. I say 3 parts of the country because we have, of course, Florida. The next few hours, we really pray for a miracle. Whatever belief you have, I don't care if you believe in whatever you do, I don't care. Just pray for good. Pray for to saving these people. Houston, as I said, the nightmare just started it because people, they lost their homes, but now without water, without electricity, diseases, looting, and desperation. I mean, that's something. Violence. It can be terrible, a nightmare. Sometimes I feel more sorry for people who stay alive than when you die. If you die immediately, you're pretty good. But if you think about if you lost, in the middle of a place that there is no water, no food, and you're living like a subhuman, a sub-animal. I mean, animals at least have a better chance to survive, So that's not right. I pray for that you can have a chance to at least get some dignity. And then, of course, we have the East Coast, the West Coast, all these fires, they're devastating there too. And we don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, people in Mexico, I'll feel sorry for them too. That's earthquake. Right now, we have no even the details, all things happening there. So, meanwhile, we got to have something we can do. Right now, I was trying to say that, first of all, get out of the place that you think can be in danger. I mean, as I say, everything can happen anywhere. But if you know that you are on a special targeted place, get out of there. Number 2, have the basic. It all starts, first of all, with water. Without water, you cannot live more than probably a couple of days, especially in a very hot environment, a humid environment. And don't just think, bottled water, it's fine, but sometimes it's going to, somehow, it's going to be over pretty soon. So I always an advocate, and I'm not even selling this stuff. I'm just saying buy whatever you find you like, but buy a water filter purification There are many out there. I like, for example, Berkey. I like Pro Pure. A couple $100 you can carry with you everywhere you go. It's gravity operated. It's really worth every penny. You can get water out of the pond and drink it.
Like that straw that filters it. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
go ahead.
It's a system that filters it and.
Yeah, it's made up by two buckets pretty much. Normally steel are the best. I like Pro Pure very much. They have the latest technology of filters. The top bucket, you pour the water, they have the filters, and the water goes through the filters, they go to the bottom buckets. And the water tastes great, and it's really safe to drink. Even if you get water from a pond, that's priceless because, you can carry that with you everywhere you go. You can get water from the toilet and you can drink it. That's my point, So number one. Number two, food, is never enough, especially when you have right now emergency food. You're not going to have a chance to really cook pasta, gourmet pasta right now, but you need to eat something to keep you alive. So to storage quality dry food, it's important. Don't get garbage that is, that is full of chemicals. Try to get the good stuff.
The chemicals.
Yeah, try to stay away from them. All right, but at this point, everything you can get your hands on, you can't get picky at this point. Get it. Another important thing, extra gasoline. We need to fill up not just our tanks of our cars and trucks, but also have at least few extra cans to fill up.
Oh, yeah.
Because things, right now, for example, if you are in Florida, if you don't have extra tanks, you're not going to make it out. Especially when you live in this area. You must have that as a plan. What else? Final part of the equation. You need guns. You need guns. Even if you don't like guns, I don't care. When things get evil out there, the only thing may save you between you and a looter or a rapist or a killer is going to be a firearm and you knowledge how to use it. That's all I can say. And for the rest, you got, as I said, try to be smart. Don't get out. Don't start to, at this point, take care of your family. Take care of yourself. Your family is your first responsibility because when you're taking care of yourself and your family, you already remove a burden from government that can help somehow other people that they weren't prepared. So being prepared is not just good for you, but also it's good for the community because you're not going to be a burden to other people. That's the bottom line. I wanted to give you the floor.
Absolutely. It's like giving yourself oxygen on the plane before you give it to others.
Exactly. Anything else, you want to share with you what's going on, for example, in your area, also in your family, something you are aware, some plan you want to talk about it? I mean, did you consider about firearms?
We don't have any firearms. I wish we did. And we don't, we don't really have a plan. We're just like idiots. Not really, but not aware. Everybody's too busy to do anything. The one good thing, the Italian mama, you should have her on your show, Maria Pia Fornardi.
Okay.
From Rome. She used to be in the military back then, etc. She's very like-minded, and she cannot just stand it. But there's something keep you to yourself. Stay with the family. Yeah. You go out, we're here to help you. Really? Well, let's pull you under the water, and there happens to be an alligator, whatever type of thing. But, we kind of don't know. Yeah. Even though, however aware I can be, we don't know what to do. Yeah. We have water. We have plenty of provisions type of thing, plenty of gas, extra gas tanks, just no arms. And this, again, it reminds me of Mad Max, Mel Gibson, 100 years ago, the movies. Yeah. Just everybody's on their own, and sometimes you have to circle the wagons. Fine, we wish you well, here's a bottle of water, but right now we don't need any extra energy to go to things that are not supporting what we need to do. Like I said, you've got to give yourself oxygen first. Yeah, exactly. And it's just sad, right now, I hope and pray everything's going to be okay for you and your family. And after this, as priority, I wish and hope that you, your family, at least would consider to have at least a firearm at hand. And there are different things. Absolutely. I will talk this in the second hour in details. I have probably about 20 minutes. I will just talk about the basic firearms for survival in emergency situation like that. You don't need to be somebody who loves firearms. You don't need somebody a gun freak. This is about like when you have a spare tire for your car. You're not waiting that you got a flat, but in case you have it,
at least you have a plan. Right. At least you can defend your family.
Actually, we do have one firearm. I don't mean, I keep interrupting you, and I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We do have a firearm.
Okay.
My dad, a Ruger something.
Okay.
And,
what is a rifle?
That's all we have.
A handgun.
It's a handgun.
Okay, something better than nothing. My point is something there. But as I said, for a situation like this, the first thing you should have, in my opinion, it's a rifle. A rifle, why? Yeah. Because the rifle, first of all, no war was won by handgun. Handgun is very, you should have on you always. And I go in more details in the second hour, at the end of the hour. But my point, the rifle, remember during the riots in Los Angeles, the only people, the only store owners were able to defend their properties and their lives. They were on top of the roofs with rifles, because that's how you keep the enemies away. Handgun, you're ready too close. You can smell it. You know. Listen, I want to say something.
Can take it.
Exactly. You're fighting already on each other. When you have a rifle, you can keep them away 500-600 yards away from your turf, from your castle. Listen, I want to say, first of all, pray for you, your family, and everybody in Florida out there. And for my brother, I tell you, I'm very stressed out. I hope everything's going to be okay for everybody, but I realistically understand what we are facing here is something we never really seen. And all we can know now is just, I don't know, just pray and wait. At the same time, learn. Yeah. I hope we can learn from this. We can learn at every level. Everybody, or every one of us can learn. Even the most prepared person can learn. But for sure, I'm sure you can learn something right now. Say, I wish I could have done that. Maybe I would have spent that money, that paycheck for this right now. An extra generator, or an extra gas tank, or maybe an extra rifle, or one rifle, or the proper generator or water system, whatever you can. But more important, we help each other. This is the spirit of the show. So it's called love above everything. Then, of course, we got guns and freedom, but we need to love each other, help each other. I'll give you a hug, okay? A big hug to you and your family, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Please, can you keep me posted, your Facebook, as things get nasty there? Can you PM me or let me know when you start to be, because the communication may go down. You can see that immediately.
Right.
You don't need to spend, electricity that you don't need to, but even just a PM, say, things are nasty, or they're getting okay. Keep me posted, please. I appreciate it, okay?
I will. I certainly will, Luca.
Thank you, Laura. I give you the floor like I normally do to all my guests. You got the last 60 seconds. Go ahead. You got the floor.
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. And during this crazy time, it's such a pleasure to know that I'm not isolated in the way I think as to really what's really going on. And I thank you so much for that and the time.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network.